Welcome to my guide on the M249 SAW. Thanks to Louise Rodriguez for the request. If you have something you want covered, let me know in the comments. If you've seen my most used weapons video, which recorded my pre-YouTube weapon stats, the LMG gun category was the least used with just over 100 kills at the time. So giving me a push to use this weapon category was great. And in this video, I'm going to detail the evolution of how I used the M249 before giving my final loadout and thoughts on the weapon. The M249 has the same damage and rate of fire as the M4, a gun I'm a fan of. This means its time to kill is identical. The M249 and the M4 share 22nd out of 30th on the kill chart, which isn't the best taken in isolation, so they need to bring some other upsides to make up for their slightly below average time to kill. The M249's upside is a 100 round mag. There's a couple of reasons as to why this gun isn't just an M4 with a super ultra mega extended magazine slapped onto it. It has much higher recoil stats than the M4 does, and its heavy weight restricts how you can practically use it. More on that in the playstyle section. For now, here's my journey of me diving into the world of heavy MGs. My initial loadout was a bipod and short suppressor. This seemed like a good starting point, as the bipod would help with its awful horizontal stat for medium and long range fights. And a suppressor I deemed vital to not instantly give away my location upon firing with a bipod set up, and this allows me to use my 100 round mag. I want to note that for the M249 I was wearing full exo armor and the exo helm with the lightest backpack option. This is because I figured if I'm prone with a bipod and not moving, I may as well have the maximum protection available. I spawned in for the first time, and apart from equipping the wrong one-time sight as I seem to always do, I immediately dropped this. This victory was short-lived however, as the weapon's flaws began to show. Even at medium range, this gun was so inaccurate with a bipod setup, and I was losing kills due to it. This was the best clip I caught with the bipod loadout. I was using cover and dropping to prone a lot with this loadout and trying to maximise the recoil benefits of the bipod. Being suppressed and heavily armoured did help me get set up and get plenty of lead down range, but the problem was the horizontal recoil was not reduced enough by the bipod. Upon reflecting, I said most of my best moments were not actually with the bipod, so I removed it. I did note a cool trick though. The support class has a hidden passive that allows you to instantly build barricades instead of having to build them like every other class. You can use this with the bipod to instantly get a stable surface to mount your bipod onto. The problem with the bipods is it does not control horizontal recoil enough. Here, look how much drift there is when using the bipod. As the M249's time to kill is under average, it cannot afford to be losing bullets due to drift. The bipod came off for an SE5 grip to fight both recoil stats. I also traded the suppressor out for a flash hider to try and further fight the horizontal recoil. This reduced both the vertical and horizontal recoil stats down to these values. After a bit more time with this loadout, this gun was still drifting too much and feeling a bit inconsistent at range due to the horizontal recoil, and it's also quite clunky to use in close quarters. I was about to make a "this weapon sucks" video, but there was one last desperate gambit to try to save the weapon. The BCM Gunfighter offers the highest horizontal recoil reduction. However, it increases vertical recoil so much that usually it's not a wise trade. But the M249 has very low vertical recoil, and I've been hating its high horizontal recoil. So, reducing the horizontal down to 0.83 finally tamed the kick of this gun.
Finally, some good fucking food.
The M249 with full exo armor gives you maximum chunk. As a wide boy, sprinting is out the question in almost every scenario due to how slowly you ready your weapon and aim down sight with it. The most important thing to remember with the M249 is to play very slowly and carefully. Despite your exo armor, you will die if you miss position and you're way too slow to get away with positional errors. You still need to play largely as if you had a bipod, trying to position behind cover that gives you good lines of sight. To the surprise of no one, the LMG works best when enemies are pushing into your 100-round gun that's already pointed their way. This is the ideal scenario you want to achieve with any MG, so try to think about where the bulk of the enemy force currently is and lurk behind cover nearby, or construct your own. You might be tempted to flank opponents and use the 100-round magazine to get some sweet multi-kills. Despite sounding good on paper, the M249 is actively bad at flanking due to how slow you move and how clunky the aim speed is. It's not that you can't, but it's not your specialty, and I suggest you use an SMG with high uptime instead for that kind of gameplay. The M249 is at its best as a defensive, supportive weapon that's covering the front line. If your team is pushing, it's best to hold back and hold a key sight line down, or make use of the 4 grenades you get to help with room clearing as they enter rooms. This clip shows me supporting with an MG and grenades from further away as my teammate is clearing the same building. The M249 is okay, but I don't think Battlebit offers the kind of gameplay to allow MGs to thrive. This game is largely an individual shooter, so using squad level tactics is not really a thing. In other games I play, such as Hell Let Loose, MGs can accurately kill from hundreds of meters away, and squads will commonly work together to have MGs suppress enemies as they move up, or to smoke off or silence an enemy MG position. In Battlebit, a setup MG doesn't offer any more stability at range than other weapons, and although you can put out sustained fire, people aren't afraid of dying due to low respawn times and no suppression mechanic in-game. They can even often peek you and outgun you with better time to kill and weapon controllability. As it stands, the M249 is a below average weapon. The one major upside of 100 rounds is still very strong and prevents it from being obsolete, but personally I would take an assault rifle or battle rifle over it every time, and that's really a shame. If I were to suggest how to improve the M249, it would be a bipod buff. I would make it so that there's almost no horizontal recoil when bipoded, meaning all you have to do is pull down with a mounted MG. This hopefully makes medium range sights viable when mounted, giving MGs a real presence when set up correctly. If this turns out to be too strong, I would then allow snipers to one-shot through exohelms again to rebalance the support class as a whole. I feel like a setup MG should be a bit more scary than it is currently. If you're a defensive gamer who likes holding angles, playing solely and supporting your team, I could see you liking the M249, but for most players I wouldn't recommend it. Thanks for watching. That was close.
Yeah. Yeah, someone tried to flank. Gone.
There's something about just being the turret MG that's really satisfying.
Yeah.
Just like not moved as one
Oh,
corner.
behind us in this building.
Okay.
Top floor. I'm trying, yeah.
Did I just get you?
No.
Got them both.
Nice.
We're getting overrun for sure though.
Yeah. Oh, behind you, behind you.
It's both sides, that's the problem. Alright, fair play.
I got one.